And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. And I'll be in Waylon Jennings country Saturday night. I will be at a dance recital, and that's where you want to be on your birthday weekend. You want to be at like a 4 or 5 hour dance recital. And for the kicker, it's not even for your kids, it's for one of your kids' friends, and you got roped into going. That's the way it goes when you're a dad sometimes, I guess. So I'll be at that Saturday night. What a way to celebrate. Hopefully I'll learn some new dance moves. Maybe we'll show them next week, of course, in weekly purchases here. But of course, a lot of purchases, not really. A bit of a slow week this week, but we'll get into that into the back half. We got the Q&A, of course, or the question of the week, I should say. But we got some housekeeping, of course, the month of June. Once again, my birthday month. We do got Matt, Nick, Jackson. This is the Patreon giveaway for the month of June. Just a little bit of time left to get in as part of this one. So check out the Patreon for all the bonus content, giveaways, early access to the videos, Q&As, you name it. All going down on Patreon. And I still do have a couple of my books. Got the hardcover edition, only $100 shipped in the United States, $35 cheaper than Barnes & Noble. I got 2 of these left, so if you need one, hit me up on social media. I also have soft cover. I can sign them, do whatever you want to do. But I do have some books left if somebody is interested for whatever reason. There you go. What else was going on this week? Well, we did see What is a Nemesis Enforcer with old Sergeant Slaughter. I'm really getting a kick out of him retweeting that. I tagged him in it and said, what's a Nemesis Enforcer? He did retweet that. So apparently after all these years, maybe a decade at this point, the old good Sarge out there finally knows what a Nemesis Enforcer is, and he's not calling it a Nemesis Immortal. He's not doing it. He's calling him Nemesis Enforcer in his tweets, so I do like to see that. But I'll never forget about a decade ago when I met up Sergeant Slaughter, and I said, Sarge, I want to ask you about your greatest battle of all time. And like I said yesterday in the Toy News video, he was probably thinking, oh, it's Pat Patterson, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. He's going to ask me about some match or something. And I said, what was it like squaring off with Nemesis Enforcer? And he just looked me dead in the eye and said, what's a Nemesis Enforcer? And my heart was broke right there, but it looks like full circle. He knows fully well what a Nemesis Enforcer is at this point as well. But very interesting. Very interesting to see that figure. Talked about it yesterday in the Toy News. Very excited for a Nemesis Enforcer, not immortal, figure right around the corner here. And another little bit of news this week. I was on Boozin' with the Toys, the Major Wrestling Figure podcast with the guys out there, Matt and Brian. Billy Peck was there, Joe Shoes. Good friend of the channel, Mike Canick, was over there as well. Good time breaking down some things, talking about things, talking a little bit of San Diego Comic-Con stuff. They will have a panel there. Can't wait to see what they got coming. What they got cooking for big rubber guys. You know me, I love my LJN style figures. Can't wait to see the peek under the tent here at San Diego Comic-Con in about a month to see what's going on. And speaking of what's going on, Mark Summers, ladies and gentlemen, on the couch. No Todd McFarlane this weekend. He left. He's in Bermuda on vacation. Man, no time off for this guy. He's celebrating my birthday week. But thankfully, Mark Summers, great friend of the channel, heavy, the muscle of the channel, is here. And Mark, once again, I'm hearing some commotion in the other room. If you could take care of that group of kids, get them out of here, tell them we're filming a video. If you could get them, let's see what's going on. Take the camera with you when you go in there. Whoa, 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 stop the clock. Mark Summers, let them stay. Let them stay. They can stay. Let them do their thing. I have no problems with them staying here. They seem to be of age. They seem to be of age. We'll let them stay. So Mark Summers, ladies and gentlemen, over on the couch. Double Dare Zone, Unwrap Zone. One-man show in New York right now. Mark, if you tell him Kyle sent you, he'll get you free tickets. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You didn't get free tickets. Just tell him Kyle sent you. So there you go. But that is a little bit of the housekeeping that for weekly purchases. But before we get into the weekly purchases, let's dive into the question of the week. Question of the week time. Remember, if you want to be the question of the week, put your question in the comments of this very video, and you too can be the question of the week. And this question of the week's come a few weeks in a row, and I said, all right, I'm going to answer it. It might not be too exciting, but I'm going to answer it right here. And it is from Dark Lord Mordred. He says, question of the week, I'm not giving up. You know what? Persistence pays off, my friend. I appreciate it. What's your favorite Royal Rumble match? He says, I like the 92 one where Ric Flair won it all. Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were on fire on commentary. And that's why it's such an easy one. That's why I passed over it last week. I was like, it's so easy. And I've talked about it before on the channel. But 92 is the banner year. It was amazing. I'm a huge Ric Flair fan going back to being a little kid. So I loved it. I loved Bobby Heenan on commentary. Gorilla as well. Loved the post-match celebration. Just a lot to love about that one. And I remember just thinking Hogan was going to win it. And then the back and forth. Maybe it was being a little kid. But it was an all-timer of a Royal Rumble. And whenever I think Royal Rumble, that sticks out. However, I do have a second memory. And once again, being an even younger kid at the time, was when Axe and Smash drew number 1 and 2 at the Royal Rumble. I couldn't believe it. My brain just went like this as a little kid. And going back, being an adult, you're like, wait a minute. If they're a tag team, why wouldn't they both say, okay, we're teaming up, and if we're going to fight each other, we'll do it at the very end when we're at the end, and it's just us two, then it'll really go off. If they were smart, they would have sat there, they would have stretched out, they would have guarded the ring, and then when number 3 comes in, they both would have beat him up, threw him over, waited for number 4, rinse and repeat. That's what Demolition should have been, and I guess Demolition were never geniuses at the end of the day. They should have had Lanny Poffo as their manager instead of Mr. Fuji maybe back in the day. Who knows? But they really blew it there. But I remember just thinking, seeing them square off, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I couldn't believe it, and it really reinforced anything could happen in the Royal Rumble, and that teammates weren't even safe from being friends in that. They were going to turn against each other to win that Royal Rumble. I always thought that one stood out for as well. Plenty other times over the years, but those are my 2 favorite Royal Rumble memories. And the Royal Rumble is always a special one. A lot of people that don't really like wrestling will sit and watch the Royal Rumble. My daughter, who doesn't like wrestling anymore, every year she will watch the Royal Rumble just because it's fun, it's fast moving, there's surprises, there's new things. So it is quite the event all these years later. A flagpole event, if there ever was one. And that is the answer to the question of the week. And if you want to be question of the week, put it in the comments down below. But now we got to dive into it. We got to dive into the weekly purchases. All right, let's get down to the weekly purchases, and possibly one of the smaller weekly purchases we've ever had here. There's not a lot going on this week, which isn't a bad thing. We're saving our pennies for San Diego Comic-Con, as you guys do know probably as well. But we did unbox this one already on the channel. We did it this week. It is the Rey Mysterio Fan Takeover, Amazon. Ringside, what is it anymore? But you can't get him at Ringside. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. But the Ultimate Rey through the door. And the Ringside Collectible exclusive, Jerichohausen. A fun one, a moment in time. I really enjoyed this figure. Check this out. Of course, Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. And then via Hasbro Pulse, we unboxed this already as well. So we're getting ahead of ourselves on some stuff. It is the Ferret ATV from the G.I. Joe Classified line. An iconic vehicle, a grandma vehicle, if you know what that means. Through the door this week. Happy to get that one. And now, how about a little bit of a big boy purchase? Kind of. And this is really bringing it back to a Dean Ambrose top 5 we did on the channel a while back. Usually on my top 5, top 10 lists, I usually have all the figures. Every once in a while, I do not. And there was one I said, you know what, I really need to get down because it's always been on my to-do list. I finally found it at a good deal, picked it up, picked up the whole kit and caboodle as well along the way. It is the Ambrose Asylum ring steel cage set, of course, from Mattel. Very cool playset right here is what we have going on. And of course, the Dean Ambrose figure that comes with it comes in the straight jacket. Talk about a cool way to display a figure. This is a basic Dean Ambrose, but the straight jacket really brings it to the next level. Really do like this figure a whole lot. Like the cage, like the setup. One of these days, I'm going to get that arena finally set back up. If you guys remember the infancy of the channel, I used to have a full arena set up. Took it down, never put it back. Got a lot of pieces for it. One of these days, I'm going to do it. Like I said, I'll do it. And I'm going to be able to switch the rings in and out when in my vision. And this one might put it in every once in a while. But the Ambrose Asylum coming in hot. And of course, tons of accessories with that one. All kinds of different stuff. It's an asylum after all. So we do got all of that. A very fun one. A long game paying off here on the channel this week in weekly purchases. But we're not done. This was the album of the week a couple weeks ago. Finally got the hard physical copy CD. Remorse? No, the latest and greatest Motorhead album. Gave my thoughts a couple of weeks ago on that one, but I have to get everything Motorhead. I'm a Motorhead guy, you know that. And a Waylon guy. How about Waylon Jennings? Father's Day, Shooter Jennings, bringing it all back to Waylon here, he announced that they found a treasure trove of Waylon Jennings songs from the 70s and 80s that have never been released. Very excited. Hopefully a future box set around the corner. Day one buyer if that is the case. So shout out to Waylon Jennings. Shout out to Lemmy and Motorhead. Shout out to heavy metal and country music. How about that right there? The hits keep on playing. We did get House of a Thousand Corpses. Otis, can't wait to get the rest of them. We'll unbox this on the channel probably this week or one of the channels. This is an exciting one for me because under protest, and the protest was having my first child, needing some money to pay for diapers and all that kind of fun stuff, I sold my complete House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects collection. I had everything. I had all the hard-to-find House of a Corpses figures that were prior to NECA, plus the NECA ones. I got an offer. I couldn't refuse, so I did sell them, and I've always kind of regretted it. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do when you're a dad. That's what dads do, of course. But I did pick up this one, the re-release. Man, I'm here for that. Happy these are getting re-released at a normal price. Can get these in my collection once again. So all coming full circle there. Bring on the captain. Bring on the rest of the crew. Can't wait to see those. About a week ago, I would defer to Todd McFarlane on the couch, but as we do know, he is not here. Mark Summers. Mark's not here. He's hanging with those girls, watching them work out, I think. Good for you, Mark. Good for you. He's taking the physical challenge, hopefully. Shout out to Mark Summers. But this is where I would defer to Todd McFarlane? Yeah, Todd McFarlane. That's who I'd refer to right now. As it was Superman Day a week ago or so, I did get this on cheap. It was like $8 and then like $8 shipping, so like 16 bucks or something like that. I did pick up the Injustice 2 Superman. I guess I can display this with the Brainiac Injustice 2 figure if I want to. But I did get that from the McFarlane Toy Store. And we're not done. I did get another thing through the mail, the Legions. Of course, the Legions of Mythic, the Mythic Legions. They had a big sale going on, so I picked some stuff. You know I'm a sucker for these Mythic Legions. We've got about a week left to pre-order the latest wave. Always on the fence to the last minute for me. I want to be into these a lot more than I am, but they're just so hard to pronounce, and I get kind of wrapped up with being like, I have to keep them stock, With a lot of the fun with the Mythic Legions is mixing and matching heads, moving things around, doing customization type stuff. That's really not my ball game, but I dabble. I'm a serial dabbler in the Legions, and I did pick up this bad boy right here. It would be the Unknown One, and he was the Legions Con exclusive in 2022. Picked up this one here, and then I did grab another one from 2022. Legions Con, it's a 2-pack. The Furious 4 is what this one is called right here. So pick these guys up. I guess I probably should have picked up 2 of them so I could have had all 4 members. Just seeing that right now. So big miss on my side. Big miss. Now I need another one of these. Maybe I'll pick up another set down the line, but some more of those. One of these days, I got stacks upon stacks of Mythic Legions to unbox. Still got all those gargoyles to unbox. We'll get around to them one of these days, I guess, and we'll do maybe 1 gargoyle and 1 Mythic Legion a week. Maybe it'll be on 2.0, maybe it'll be on this channel. We'll see what ends up happening. But I think that's it. I think we got one thing left, and I did get this via Ringside Collectibles, and I did order this bad boy here, and we're going to unbox it right here on the channel, and I'm hopefully not going to cut into it. But it seems to be a new wrestling buddy, and I think they're Ringside Collectible exclusives as of right now. I didn't cut it all the way through. I'm going to do it right now. There we go. And it is the Ultimate Warrior. So check out Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. It's like vacuum sealed. But it is the Ultimate Warrior. It's an Ultimate Warrior wrestling buddy. You know I'm a warrior at heart every single day. This will go great on my couch. Maybe I'll put it with my Hasbro or my Tonka one from back in the day, more like it. But it is the Ultimate Warrior, I guess modern wrestling buddy, whatever we're going to call it. So I got him through the door via Ringside Collectibles. And that is it. That's all we got this week. What did you get? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys found some good stuff. Hopefully you're saving your pennies. It's going to be a very expensive July. We all got to stand together and be ready for that with our wallets open, of course. Take every penny. Hasbro, Mattel, NECA, Super 7, whoever it may be. Now let me know your thoughts on weekly purchases. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel or my other YouTube channel. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Don't forget the Patreon for early access to all the videos from both YouTube channels and your best way to support the channel. Don't forget ProWrestlingTees.com. Don't forget about the book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstars series. And don't forget about social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for weekly purchases, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling into my birthday.